Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I'm just realizing I didn't put my microphone in, so I'll just do that now quickly for you. Um, I wanted to share something special with you. My Bridget scarf, as you know, I decided that I was going to keep it for arts and crafts, maybe do something special about um, incorporating it into spirit work. There we go. So there we go. So I hope you can hear me. And I'm just checking my cell phone simultaneously just to make sure that I can hear me. Okay, I got a feeling that you can't hear me. I'm going to restart, so I'll see you in just a moment. Oh, hey, girl in a gong, can you hear me okay? I was just about to log off and sign back in. Perfect timing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, perfect, because I forgot to plug in my microphone and then I plugged it in now, and so it's working. That's fantastic. So for those of you just tuning in, I was making an announcement. Today's my last time going live, not forever, but I was starting a bit of a routine, feeling out my Dragon Dreams community, the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe, which is coming together more and more every time I do come live and share more and more about my own passions and hobbies. And I was just sharing out that my very, very priceless, very sentimental, smells like wonderful fresh air, imbued with the energy of the goddess Bridget and so much more. If you've been following me, I made a decision that I'm actually going to sell it. I thought about maybe auctioning it off or doing something like that. And I thought, this is getting too stressful. So I'm going to be starting a membership. What's the holdup? I just need to confirm some dates, but I'm really looking forward to making the big announcement in the next week or so. And so I really want to thank everybody who's been supporting me, especially folks on BitChute, because I really had no idea that I had an audience, some Soul Tribe members on BitChute. I'm consistently getting like 15, 30 views. And I'm also really thankful for folks out there who are watching me on YouTube, on Facebook, and I've got some clicks on X, I noticed. So I'm all over the place looking for Soul Tribe. And my intention is to start reeling and dialing it down now. So if you're feeling the pull, the magnetic pull towards me, it's because we're part of the same soul tribe. It doesn't matter what modality I'm selling. And I actually gave up selling modalities. That's part of my shift as being a spiritual biz entrepreneur. So through Buy Me a Coffee, I'm going to have a membership and I just can't wait. And the way it works is you pay a monthly fee and you get, guaranteed things. And then there's all these bonuses. Well, one of those tiers is going to absolutely include kind of like a book club where I'm going to be reading live, maybe just a paragraph to a few pages. Then we'll have some time to journal and talk about it, some of the content in my books. There's going to be different memberships, but that one in particular is going to be the one that there's going to be a special link. If you're interested, I'm going to do a special ceremony and make sure that this is really blessed in honor of the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, in honor of me shifting from being a regular business entrepreneur to now being a spiritual biz entrepreneur, and just all the changes and the alchemizing of myself. I feel you know what, I could pass this on and it would be really special. I thought about making bookmarks and then tying a little string on it. And I thought, you know what, folks out there can decide what they want to do with it. And then I thought it would be really special, like just over time. You'll show me this is what I did with your scarf. Maybe you'll take a little thread and tie it on a pen. And when you do your dream journaling, you'll write with that pen. I don't know. I don't care. I'm really excited either way. So I'm going to do something special. And some pieces will be bigger than others, but I'm going to aim for them to all be roughly around the same size. And I just kind of feel emotional in this moment because these Saturdays have really meant a lot to me. And just reflecting over the past few years, my journey started as a hypnotherapist. I was a public school teacher. I had a severe panic attack. Things really shifted. I never returned to work as a public school teacher. And a very long story short, this is my new matrix now. And so Rosie and I were still committed to that condo on the beach. Right now, we're residing in Ontario, Eastern Standard Time. And this summer, I'm expected to go to Florida for the Full Disclosure Now conference. There's a lot of talk about tariffs and stuff like that, and just, uh, you know, having to pay money to enter a country. But I don't want that to get in the way of our time together. I don't want fear-based decisions to inhibit anything. So I'm just wanted you to know that, because now more than ever, through the Buy Me a Coffee feature, if you wanted to support me, it would really be ideal, because I do live in Canada and the Full Disclosure Now conference is in the United States. So I would like to commit, despite if my airfare might go up or something like that. and and those are the real conversations that we're going to have in Dragon Dream, but we won't be getting political. We're just going to talk about like overarching themes like fear-based decision making and what it means to support, and even things like having money, because that's a 3D reality, right? So, okay, I've got my Dragon Dreams Oracle here, which I'm still adding to, and you can bet these are going to be for sale. But I want to take this summer to go through those 2 drawers that I have. And that's another reason why I'm looking forward to the membership, because then I'll have a schedule. I don't know about you, but I really thrive on a schedule. It doesn't have to be set in stone, but I feel like just from being a public school teacher for so long, like I need that. I need to set the intention. So let me know in the comments about yourself. And, part of having structure is balance, because we need to incorporate unstructured time during our structured time. So I taught a lot of kindergarten, and you know what? The kids, when they arrive in the morning, they need to run around and stuff like that. So it's not a coincidence that we're doing movement activities. It's not a coincidence when the kids come to school. Some of the parents, they interpret it as a slow start. No, 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 no. I've always been that teacher to reinforce this isn't a soft start, slow start. No, this is all part of the social emotional learning climate. So when you come to school, I don't know what kind of morning the students have had. There's always that parent that needs to talk to me. So it's impossible. I'm not setting myself up for success if I plan to start off with structure. You come in, sit down, be quiet, do your work. Like, yeah, those are the classrooms that have a hard time, right? But if you set it up so that you have some unstructured time, the kids come in, there's no pressure to like get busy with the routine. The routine is transitioning. That is the expectation. You come in, you take care of your coat, you hang it up. You don't just throw it on the over there. A lot of kids at that age are struggling with learned helplessness. They're literally standing there waiting for me to take off their coats, because they really genuinely, that's how they're treated at home or at their drop-off pickup center. Somebody is always dressing them, undressing them. Somebody else has their mitts. Somebody else is zipping up the zipper, tying up the hood, and the kids don't develop any skills. So it's a lot of time and space in the morning so that the kids can transition. And then slowly, kids are reading books, doing puzzles, and like honestly, a good half hour, 45 minutes goes by. And in that time frame, especially in September, I might just sing out the child's name and convene, like, so if the kid's name is Gina, I'll be like, Gina. And then I conveniently beforehand already have their name on a piece of masking tape, and they come to me and I put the masking tape on there. They're very proud too, wearing it here. And sometimes they come to school the next day with like the same piece of masking tape, like desperately they're trying to like reuse it, or they wear the same shirt because they want to like with pride they have it. And then I'll ask them like, do you want a second name tag? And sometimes they say yes, and then they have two masking tape. So it's just hilarious, all these memories that come to mind. But the point is we need to have balance, structured time and unstructured time. And so I'm really looking forward to the membership because basically the rest of 2025 and even part of 2026 is going to be some of it will be set in stone, and then some of it's just kind of open. And I have goals, like I'd like to go to Florida. There's nothing stopping me unless financial things get a little unexpected. But I also really would like to go to Ireland. I'd really like to go on the Forbidden Knowledge tour to Egypt with Billy Carson. Oh, I want to go so bad, but you know what? You can't do it all at the same time, right? So, Full Disclosure Now conference, that's my 2025 thing. There's another place I'd like to go, but I'm waiting to make an announcement about that. And then you know what? Ireland, I feel like, is going to be the next place I go. So how about you? Let me know, because when we work with cycles, we have the day cycle, morning, afternoon, evening. We have the weekly cycle. We have the monthly cycle. If you want that monthly cycle to go by the moon cycle, you can choose to do that. You might want to have like a seasonal cycle. Then you have a yearly cycle. Some folks, they like to have like a 3-year plan. So you have a 3-year cycle or a 5-year cycle. Those of you who are into numerology, there's all kinds of like cycles. It's like this is your 13th year of house 4. Like I honestly can't keep track, but those of you out there, you know what I'm talking about, and that's what makes it exciting is all these stories for us to share, because we are a story species. We demand, whether we want to or not, our logical minds demand we have to have a structure. We need the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? But then the creative part of our mind is that unstructured time. The beginning, middle, end, that's inhibiting for the creative mind. We need to step back and float around freely everywhere. So you see, it always comes back to balance, not even just in the classroom, but in your personal life and in the greater themes, the 95% subconscious mind and your 5% conscious mind. And that's all part of conscious evolution. So I'm just checking the comments now. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you too, Maureen, because it's really cool when you chat with somebody online and you see them around, but it's always online. And then finally you get to meet them in person. And it's just like a really cool feeling. And just a heads up, I'm one of those people, I'm a deer in the headlights. So like I'll recognize your face, but I'll forget your name, or I'll see you at the grocery store, but I can't place you. And I'll just randomly approach you and be like, I know you. Where do I know you from? And then it's like people are like, what? Who's this lady? Right. Or people will come to me out of nowhere and just be like, Gina, I saw you here and there. You facilitated at this school, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, hey, what? Because it's just so far from the forefront of my mind. So if you're like Maureen and you're going to be in Florida, I'm going to send out a little Facebook message just reminding people like, let's meet, right? I don't know if the folks running it are going to have opportunity for us to hang out, but either way, we'll figure something out, because that's why I'm going. I'm going for the Soul Tribe. I was going anyways. And then I just asked Brian, the guy who runs it, hey, do you need another speaker? And he said, sure. And it was easy to sell myself because my history as a public educator, my passion with conscious evolution. And I'm really looking forward to the story Species and just discussing some of the stuff in my book, things that I used to be scared to share, like, 2 angels coming out of my wall. Well, I'm pretty sure those were ETs, but either way, sharing a story like that is worth sharing, and it's worth finding the right soul tribe to give and receive such stories, because again, we're a story species and that's our medicine. So I know when I was growing up, nobody was sharing stories like that. And if they were, it was always like these like, oh, holy stories that were magical and blessed be tears, praise the Lord. And then it's like the experiences I were having were terrifying. And so it was like, you know, Christmas angels were okay, but you know, fairies in the garden are not. Um, the Easter bunny and is okay. Like what? Um, and I don't want to be limited. I've been having interesting conversations about vampires lately. I don't feel vampires. There's just one species of vampires. There's a whole ecosystem of vampires, and so if how are we supposed to evolve consciously if we can't even share our stories? And by stories, I don't mean like just random stuff. I mean the stories that challenge us because they change us. It's the full disclosure, whether the government makes an announcement or not. We all have our own psychic abilities that are expressed in various ways. And general things like that gut feeling. Some folks call it intuition. Like you can't deny those feelings. And if we can learn how to use that and as a way to help us balance, as a measuring tool, an ongoing doser of our own that we can rely on, that's a powerful tool because we're the tools, right? We're our number one tool. And you know what? Because we're a story species, telling stories is our best medicine. And you know what? It's also our worst medicine because that's what false inhibiting beliefs are. Our mind's number one job is to protect us, even if it means making up stories, complete phony baloney stories just to protect us. We tell ourselves things, we convince ourselves that these things are true. We hurt ourselves and do a lot of damage in the long run. Why? Why? Well, that's the thing. Like, the mind isn't intending to set a blueprint, it's just acting in a way that the blueprint is temporary just to like get you through as a coping strategy. But depending on the severity, the emotion, which is a case by case scenario, um, if it impacts you that deeply, just like that, you have an instant blueprint that it's like a stamp in your Akashic record. So if you had a book of your Akashic record and you were literally to flip through the pages, oh, there's the stamp. This card keeps coming up a lot too. The one with the butterfly. But like, there's the stamp. So you can close the book all you want, you can, mix it around, but that stamp is always going to be there. And then, so the story medicine, if you will, it was like an overdose. It became poisonous to you. And then you need somebody like myself, a transformational healer, to help you identify and smash that false inhibiting belief. So, anyways, my passion right now is with my gemstones. I am listening to the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe Collective, and there seems to be a demand for that. And my books and these. So that's just beautiful for me. So yeah, and wiggle room in the schedule is important because we can never have the perfect schedule. Life always happens. You get caught in traffic. Sometimes you think something is going to work out and it doesn't work out. Right now I'm supposed to go live on Typical Skeptic the first Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Okay, great. Well, you know what? We only committed until July because we know our schedules might change and whatnot. Maybe we'll keep going at 4, but we'll have to reevaluate, right? So that's okay. It's okay to do that, to reevaluate your wiggle room. Absolutely. And yes, Ireland and Peru. And that's the thing too, returning to Peru, because when we go places, or even if you read a book, it's really awesome, right? But to have the opportunity to go back to that place, to have the opportunity to reread a book, because you're always cycling through. You're not going to go back to those places and have the same vibe that you had. There's gonna be something else, or maybe you'll go a different time of year and it'll look different to you, right? So there's lots of things to consider. Yes, and I can absolutely appreciate why people, they don't want to share their spiritual experiences, if that's what folks out there are even calling them, because it's just easier to say, I had an interesting dream, or oh, somebody told me something interesting, or oh, I saw something on TV, but really, they're feeling you out to see how much you can handle it. And if you can handle it, then it's really nice to have somebody that you can connect to and relate with about such meaningful things, especially children, because from the child's perspective, everything is important. Everything is big time. And so when something big time happens, it's really extra big time in the eyes of the child. And then they come up to you and they tell you, or they might even think, and then randomly they'll just say to you, oh yeah, like grandma visits me all the time. And you're like, what? Like grandma died a long time ago. But depending on how you react, children may or may not continue to tell you stuff, and often too, children will reveal truths that make you uncomfortable because um, they either like psychically know and piece it together, or there's like a ghost or a spirit telling them, like, your mom had an affair, and then the child genuinely asks about it, and you're like, be quiet about that. so it's just and when it comes to like sexual abuse, children just, oh my god, get shut down right away, because it makes so many people uncomfortable. Why? Because often it causes a big inconvenience for who? For the adults. Why? Because the adults are struggling, they feel awkward about it, they're not sure themselves what to do. But a lot of times, it's like a domino effect, like because we would like to believe that the people who hurt us in life are these people that are complete strangers to us, which that is the scenario. But most cases of any kind of abuse, it's people that right? And it's just like in Scooby-Doo. Every single episode you watch Scooby-Doo, every single one, and you, the child, even the adult you watching it, you're like, this time under that monster mask, that mask isn't going to come off. It really is a monster. Or under the monster mask, it's going to be some other kind of monster face revealed. And it never is. It's always who? A Homo sapien sapien. It's never like, a rabid bear or something like that on Scooby-Doo. It's always a Homo sapien sapien, right? And it's not just anybody, it's somebody who's directly involved in leadership or whatever's going on in the situation at hand. And so our awareness, our epigenetics, the patterns in and around us is very clearly, I love talking about this kind of stuff. So um, I think I'd just like to open up some sacred space now. So let's start with opening up the Witticocha, and then we're going to call in the 4 winds, and I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Dragon Dreams Oracle, review them with you, close the sacred space, and the next time I see you, I'll continue providing those mini gemstone readings. I know a lot of folks out there are enjoying them, and you can bet that's going to be part of the membership too. And I just can't wait. Waiting really is the hardest part. All right. Oh, and I've got my candle here too for fire ceremony. If you don't have a candle, I've got incense burning as well. Anything I do is always on behalf of the collective, and the creative mind is the best way to go. So, if you don't have a fire, you can rely on the passionate fire in your heart. You can connect with the sun. You can even just move your hands like this to represent flames. You're the shaman. You're the number one tool, right? That's the power that we have. And it's our biology of belief, right? And belief like trumps everything. That's how powerful we are. Okay. I'm really glad I don't worry about explaining the science anymore. So I'm just going to close my door quickly. Um, Rosie is not feeling so well. So uh, she's in and out, and I made it a point to just leave the door open a crack. And I've got the heater on here just to have a nice warm climate for us. Um, so anyways, she's on the bed if you're curious. Okay. So your hands are just above your head, reaching into that chakra and just moving it around, activating it, letting it fall and flow into you. Just pulling it down. Just imagining that big ball of light around you. To the winds of the south, great snake, wrap your coils of light around us. Thank you for teaching us the beauty way. Help us to be belly to belly with Mother Earth. Help us to shed what no longer serves us so we can just move on with our lives. Oh. To the winds of the west, Jaguar, thank you for helping us to transform and transcend, to walk with us beyond the shadow of death, to walk with us in the places that are beyond dark, where we feel like we can't see, but we learn that the darker it gets, the more clarity we actually see. It's a different kind of seeing. And thank you, Jaguar, because the West can be such a scary place because it's a familiar place as the womb, and yet it's an unfamiliar place as the tomb, and then it's duality. It's familiar because it's the tomb, and then it's unfamiliar because it's the womb. And so the life, death, life cycle is always with us. Ow. To the winds of the north, hummingbird. Thank you, hummingbird. You're so small, and yet you've got such a big heart, the currency of the heart, reminding us to do things not for points or rewards, but because it's the right thing to do, and just because we can. If you can help somebody, and to keep striving, and to know that there's a difference between being an imposter and doing things hummingbird style. Being an imposter is not having authenticity. Being an imposter is, for example, going on the internet, reading about the chakras, and then now you're making a video about chakras and you're an expert. No. Hummingbird style is going on the internet, learning about chakras and sharing with people that that's exactly what you're doing. That's hummingbird style. Being imperfect, being authentic, and developing those wings and being flexible, just like we were talking about earlier. Hummingbird helping us to remember to only drink the finest nectar and to forget about crumbs, because we need to be taking big bites, hummingbird style kind of bites, like a catfish, biting off more than we can chew. Hopefully not like a catfish to the point where we're choking, but a point to be made that it's ours for the taking, just like the finest nectar. Thank you, hummingbird. Ow. To the winds of the east, Eagle Condor. My goodness, have I ever gained a lot of perspective, especially this past year with you. Last springish, late winter, early springish, I saw an owl right outside my opened up my balcony, and there on the telephone line was an owl. And I remember thinking, what incarnations is a big black fat cat doing on the telephone line? How is it even balancing? And since then, it's like my perspective has really sharpened, and I've been struggling with that sharpness because the truth hurts. And this owl energy is linked to the jaguar side, the west side. And so I used to be terrified hanging out with jaguar. I've come a long way. And eagle condor, you were actually the last of the 4 power animals that I connected with. And now I know why. It's because I couldn't handle the truth. I first needed to handle the truth about myself. I learned through jaguar that I was scared of myself. But now that I'm not scared of myself anymore, now I can move forward with my perspective and evaluate the other things, the other truths in my life. And knowing that I don't have to be scared. I just have to remind myself that the mind's number one job is to protect, and whatever is unfamiliar is scary. So make it familiar. And that's the perspective I have. And so the more I share my medicine and the more others share their medicine with me, the more familiar it sounds, and I don't have to feel so scared. It's like string theory, one at a time, the building and the imbuing, and very thankful for our relationship, Eagle Condor, because we've come a long way now. Aho. And I don't have a plant. If you have one, just put your hand right in the soil or touch it. I'm just going to use my body, the walking, talking tree that I am. Pachamama, Mother Earth, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, the earth, the air, the fire, the water. Thank you for all of the pieces of stardust that swept together to create my body, which is an extension of the body of Mother Earth. Whether I'm here or of here is inconsequential, because what matters is that Mother Earth is the same Mother Earth that all the land comes from. And that's our oneness. And this Mother Earth, this Pachamama in particular, is the one where the biological one, known as Gina, manifested into being in this beautiful co-dream that we share. And I recognize our conscious evolution and biological journey. And I praise the 2-legged, the 4-legged, the furred, the haired, the bald, the winged, the finned, the tillers of the earth, the 100-legged, the 8-legged, the no-legged, and all of our relations, the greater ecosystem we all belong to. Aho. Father, Sun, Grandmother, Moon, Star Nations, thank you, thank you, thank you for your guidance, for your energy and encouragement as we rotate around the solar system. We pass by your regions, your homes, and sometimes you stay with us and migrate around with us. And I'm thankful for our extended families. Some folks believe they're not from here. We're descendants from you, from where you are. and we're piecing it together. And I'm thankful for our greater collectiveness, and I'm thankful for the shamans who can transform time and space and weave through the various universes, bringing us closer together and only reinforcing our oneness. Aho. Final thank you to my spirit guides, Amanda, Polaris, Toby, the dog monkey folk, the goddesses, and everyone else that my gemstones have come to represent over time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's see what the cards have to say. So I'll just tilt this down here. This is my fancy box. And there's like paint stains and stuff in here. Anyways, my eyes are closed. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, tap, tap, tap. Duality is where it's at. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Oh, and I'm opening my eyes for a moment because all of a sudden I feel like, you know what? I'm just going to move my candle over before I put my elbow in it and then set myself on fire. We always want to make sure we're being safe. Okay. Okay, my eyes are closed again. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Hop, hop, hop. The duality never stops. Lefty loosey. Righty tighty. Be. The only thing to be uncertain of is my certainty, and the only thing to be certain of is my uncertainty. Hence all the duality. I'm just really feeling my left hand here. This power animals are strong today with snake and jaguar, hummingbird, eagle, condor. They all want to pull a card. Coil, recoil, loosen the soil. Coil, recoil. What are your morals? Coil, recoil. The truth does not spoil. North is south. East is west. 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 I'll tell you how you can serve the universe best. I'm going to pick 3 cards. Everybody pick 1, 2, 3. This first one. Whoa, all my fingers are very electric here. Let's just keep moving it. Okay. What will the first card be for folks who are picking number 1? Okay, right here. Right here. Okay. Right here. And it's this one. Okay. The earth, the air, the fire, the water. What is it? Can't see. Oh, I love this one. They don't have names for them yet. Names are coming. Um, this one's awesome because it's encouraging you. And these cards refer to everybody, right? But if you picked card number one, then it like extra is just for you, you know? So this is encouraging you to play with nature. So I did this and then I drew this picture. So it's a picture of me in my dream life, but I did it in my waking life. So what you do is you play with the wind, for example. So let's say the wind is blowing this way, then my hair's gonna, blow that way, right? So there's no magic involved. But what you do is you put your arms out like this, and the wind's blowing this way, and you just pretend, yeah, that's me moving the wind like that. But then it gets freaky because it's like, holy fuck, I just moved the wind like that. Right? So you just play, like all of a sudden it's like the wind stopped. Is that because I stopped? Like you mind fuck yourself like that. Or did you? Were you really controlling the wind in that moment? You know, let's say there's a leaf that it looks like it's going to fall off the tree. So you pretend because it's a really windy day. So you pretend you go like this with your hand, like as if you're the one moving that leaf and that you're the one that's going to blow it. Stuff like that. It's encouraging you to play. Another thing to do is to play with your incense. So as I'm saying, this mine's almost out, but you can see the smoke is going up and then it's twirling. It's going counterclockwise. So I can pretend, yeah, that's me making it do that. So obviously, if I go like this, the smoke, goes in the direction of my hand. But the point is do some of that and then move your hand away. Now it's going clockwise. So I'm just pretending, yeah, that's me doing that clockwise. These are just examples for you to work with. It can get really cool. Oh no, what did I do with the card? Here it is. It can get really cool because you can start doing this with birds. You see a crow in the tree and the crow flies across the street and you get to know the crows in your neighborhood, right? So there you are getting to know the crows, and then you're watching the crow and you can tell it's going to move anytime, right? So you just go like this, and when the crow moves, yeah, that was you that gave the crow permission to move. Or like if a bird comes, if you're hanging out outside, maybe you're at a restaurant and you're having some fries and a bird like comes and lands and sits on the rail. The bird probably just wants one of your fries, but for what it's worth, you just pretend like, oh yeah, this morning I asked a little bird to come and land beside me. Thank you for landing beside me, even though you're just making that up in the moment. You have fun with this. And then it's kind of like dowsing, which has also been coming up a lot lately. So this is a great card. They're all great cards. And that's what that's about. So let me know in the comments what's working for you. Something else that I used to have fun with, I used to have a mountain. Like I owned it or something, right? But there used to be, like I lived in a mountainous area. I was in the Chilliwack area. And the sun, it would sink behind the mountain. And so I would pretend like this is me now controlling the sun behind the mountain. And now it is darkness. Right? So it's just like really hilarious to do that. So, yeah. And I love the synchronicity, because whatever I report out, other folks are reporting up too. So I'm going to close my eyes again. And now card number 2. So card number 2. Ooh, my pinky wants to go here somewhere. Where? Somewhere in here? I don't know. No, the pinky just wants to help move cards out of the way. Okay. Nope. The pinky's like this one, this one. Okay. What is it? This one is kind of like a funny, not funny one. And I was just talking about Billy Carson, which is cool. I read his book, The Emerald Tablets. Great book. So there's perspective, right? The way you see things. So these rectangles are book covers. This one says forbidden knowledge. It's not forbidden knowledge. It's herbology, folks. Right? I bought this book. It was black and it had this like witchy white type of writing on it. And it was all like forbidden knowledge. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to read about things that people did that were just like poisonous for them, but they really believed it worked or something. It was all about herbology, things like, if you're having a sore stomach, chew on some mint. Having a hard time breathing, eucalyptus. Stuff like that. It did incorporate some stuff like I think it was cinnamon, for example, putting some of that in your wallet. But you know what? Cinnamon is a spice, and spice helps with insects. And a long time ago, wallets were made of leather, and the insects and moths would chew up that stuff. And so putting a herb in there or something like cinnamon, something that had like a spiciness to it, or rosemary, um, the belief developed that, oh, that helps you with money abundance or something. But arguably it could be rooted in something like that, but it was like demonized, right? So it's like, come on here, like, why does it have to be forbidden knowledge? It's herbology. Well, herbology is forbidden knowledge because, oh yeah, then the pharmaceutical companies can't make money off of everybody. So in that sense, it is forbidden knowledge. So, you know, renaming things. This one here is called The Salem Witch Trials. That's not a book about Salem witch trials. I read the book, The Salem Witch Trials. I've had a better memory recall. I'll tell you the author's name. That is a book about cancel culture. That is one of the most terrifying books that I read. The opening scene is a woman who is from like the Ireland area, and she goes to North America and doesn't speak English, and everybody just basically gangs up on her. And Netflix actually did a really good job. There was I don't know if it's still on there, but there was like a little mini series based on true stories from the Salem witch trials, and it's like uh, that is quite the example of cancel culture. There's another one like An Alien Harvest. Linda Moulton Howe wrote that book. Great book. Why don't we call that book Denial? The Emerald Tablets, we could call it Perspective. Eric Van Daniken wrote a great book called The Chariot of the Gods. If you have ever heard that guy speak, he writes exactly like that. Like I could hear his passionate voice as I was reading the book. And instead of calling it Chariot of the Gods, why don't we call it Fucking Listen? Eric Van Daniken doesn't use swear words in his book, but I got a very strong feeling that there was an undertone of those F-bombs in there. So that was card number 2. And let's pick one more card. And just remember, all the cards apply to everybody. But if you picked card number 1, 2, or 3, then it's like extra special for you. Okay. I don't know. It's like my fingers are like, we just want to move cards out of the way. There's digging today going on. This one? Nope. It's this one that my thumb is on. Okay. I'm just going to open my eyes and make sure. Yeah. Okay. This one right here. Very specifically. Okay. I got it. What is it? My thumb chose it. And my thumbs are representative of free will. Do you really want what you're asking for? If you got it, why is this a good thing? If you don't get it, why would this be a bad thing? So, how bad do you want it? And what would it really mean if you got it? What would change? I remember when I wrote this card, I was like down in the dumps about like money and changing careers and stuff like that. And I remember going through a process where I thought, okay, you know what? Like, what would change about my life? At the time, I was renting a condo. I was living with Rosie. I was doing my business. I called it Present Moment Hypnotherapy at the time. So if I randomly won millions of dollars, like what would really change? And ultimately, I concluded that nothing would change except that instead of renting a condo, I would own the condo. Instead of having car payments to make, I would just own the car. Those are the kind of things that would happen. Other than that, nothing would actually change. Other than me having more consistency, maybe with my dance class, that was something. And I also wanted to join a foraging group, which I paid the money for, but then my health took a bit of a hit, and I actually didn't make it to any of those. And the girl running it, she was really kind, and she's like, "Oh, you just come next time, no problem." And then I'm like, I'm moving away now, but you know, and if you didn't get it, like if I didn't get those millions of dollars, which I never did, what would change? And it's like, well, the only thing that would change is perhaps my perspective. Like, money isn't going to make me happy, right? It's having Soul Tribe that's going to make me happy. Having my health is going to make me happy. Having my freedom is going to make me happy. I could have a condo and a car that's paid for, but what if, you know, unexpectedly I blow a tire on the side of the road? Like that happens to the most privileged people. You know, I still have to deal with those 3D realities. It's not just things like, you know, money or like wishing on a star, but it's things like, should I stay in this relationship? You know, like I've had people literally tell me that they've been pushed, like hands-on pushed, you know, things were escalating, yelling and screaming, but then actually hands-on happened, and it's not the first time. Well, if you left, why would that be a good thing? And if you you know, if maybe he left you, why would that be a good thing? Why would that be a bad thing? Don't wait around, is what this card is saying. Like, it's saying a lot, and I'm interested in how you relate. So this is for folks who chose card number 3. You know, I'm 43 and a half, and I think I'm gonna have to put this like this. I'm 43 and a half years old, and I had a belief that I was going to have like biological children of my own. And, you know, sure, I could adopt or get involved in foster care, but it's not my desire. I wanted to have biological children. I've never even been pregnant before, so I've never miscarried or anything. And I used to be really sad about that. But now it's like, I mean, if I found myself pregnant, I would be happy about it. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't have those same desires anymore. You know, like just a few handfuls of years ago, um, had I met the right person, I would have, got married and had a kid. But that didn't happen. And then I went through a phase where I was feeling really sad about that and I was feeling rushed. But it's like, why is it a bad thing if I don't have kids? And it's like, well, it's a bad thing because like I thought I was going to be having kids. It's a bad thing because like my parents don't have grandchildren. And actually out of like most of like my parents' siblings, they're a total minority who don't have grandchildren. And they come from generations where like everybody is grandparents. So it's just kind of like kind of weird, and just like even getting married, I thought I would get married. I've never been married before. Sure, I've been in relationships, but it's like all these ideas I had. Why, I used to really hope and dream, oh, please, I really hope I meet my husband. I really hope I get married, please, at least before I'm 40 years old. Oh my God. Well, now I'm over 40 and it's like, is my life okay? Yes. Did I grieve not having children? Yes. I didn't know you could grieve not having children, you know. I had really great conversations with folks just like you. These stories are medicine about pets, like I'm a cat mom. I've got Rosie. I've always had pets, right? And so um, those are for you to ponder. I always offer my own personal examples, because stories are medicine, and also just to get the ball rolling with conversation. And so, just looking at the comments here, and yeah, Chariots of the God is a really, really great book. And Eric Van Daniken is well researched. Like this guy speaks ample languages, and he's literally read and translated the Bible like frontwards, forwards, and backwards in multiple languages. And then, like, for example, he would like do it from like language A to language B. And then he would actually translate it from English B back to English A and make sure he had all his consistencies. So I really value Eric Van Daniken. And I love that I can direct folks to him. And happiness is absolutely from within, the currency of the heart. Yeah. And the girl in her gong is a dog mom. so so for some people, like they've never wanted to have kids, they've never been interested in having kids, good for them. But folks like myself personally, like that's the only reason I was really living my life and going to school, so that I could have the job security, so that I could have the kids to take time off. And if there was an emergency, then I could like work. And anyways, I had it all planned out, but that was not in store for me. So um, let's close sacred space, but not before having some fire ceremony. And so I always share what I'm doing. Um, so uh, today I'm not going to share because that's kind of been a thing too. You know, you folks got to share. So let me know in the comments, what are you grateful for? And what are you going to loosen and let go? Now, I mean, sometimes when it's time to let go, we've got a whole bucket list of things pick one thing, because, string theory, it's one string at a time. And just like when this little piece of wood burns, it's like undoing the one string at a time. And so, um, uh, and I know for those of you out there who are listening, who, this might be like a new thing to you, you might need to spend seriously like a good afternoon, just doing one after another. Because when you start doing this kind of stuff, you do have a lot of baggage to loosen and let go. And then it gets better and better. And the more you do this stuff regularly, which would be a good idea for you to join my membership, because we do this kind of stuff regularly. And it's just like taking a shower, take a shower regularly and then you don't smell like BO. And it's kind of the same thing here. So, whatever you're letting go, just blow that into here. And this one here, something that I'm really grateful for. And if you don't have a stick, you just blow onto mine. And let me know in the comments if you're like me, you have a can, or maybe you have a little plate with soil on it. Maybe you've got a glass of water. I know some folks, they just dunk it right in the water or right in the soil, extinguish it. But I like to just let it go as long as it naturally can. All right till the last glow. And if you have to drop it before then, drop it. Don't burn your fingers. This next one, it's nice too if you have a fireplace, you just toss the whole thing in. Or if you wanted to, just light something on the side, let me know what you do. That got a bit hot. And it's out. So that's it for today. Let's close up our Wittekocha, and then we'll thank the power animals, and that'll be it. So you can't see my hands. So now we're closing it. So we're going to inhale up. And then this time we bring our hands together, down, prayer hands right to the heart chakra. Your elbows are out. Keeping your eyes closed or rested. And I want to thank Snake for helping us to remember to loosen and let go. Jaguar for helping us to have the courage to get to the Rainbow Bridge, and then having all those conversations with us so that we can independently cross it with your support, because we know that you can't cross it for us. It's something we have to do on our own. But thank you to Hummingbird for reminding us of our high quality items. Thank you to Eagle Condor for reminding us that once we learn all of our lessons, we need to apply the knowledge. And often that means going back home and applying the knowledge there. Thank you to my spirit guides, Polaris, Amanda, Toby, the goddesses. Thank you to Bridget. And my mom, actually, it was part of her idea. She suggested that I sell maybe some of my Bridget water, because my mom was saying that she actually bought some holy water online, and she thought that that's what I was doing with the Bridget water. And then after some conversation, I thought, you know what, maybe I can actually sell my Bridget scarf. And then that perspective all came together. And so I know the goddess Bridget had something to do with that conversation. And I'm thankful for the Dragon Dream Soul Tribe community. They've had such a pleasure coming live Saturdays at 11. And I feel really good. And I'm really excited about my membership. So I'm sending you all so much light and love. And I would just adore if you registered for one of my programs. They're going to be monthly programs. And as always, there's so much to say. And so if you've been enjoying my content, check me out on ginavirginiacasella.com. Everything's there, all of the links. Buy Me a Coffee is there, and that's where my memberships are going to take place. And so it's really worked out because I was going to use a different platform. And when I was investigating Buy Me a Coffee, I was like, aha, this is why there's been delay. And then part of my business plan incorporates some collaboration, and so everything came together very nicely. And so I'm really thankful for that. And Maureen here, I'm just reading your comments. Oh, there they are. I'm grateful for my dog Gus, and I'm letting go of any attachments. And I love the pictures on Facebook. It was Gus is always there, like in the car seat, being supportive. You know, it was his birthday not too long ago. And I love that. And the girl in her gong, 1111, that's Maureen, is saying thank you and aho. Aho to you, Maureen, and thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing you at the Full Disclosure Now conference in July. Let's figure something out when it gets closer. Like I said, I'll post something on Facebook. We'll figure it out when it gets closer for sure. And anybody else out there who's interested in the Full Disclosure Now conference, they have a website, but you know what? ginavirginiacasella.com. It's there. And also this business of me going on Typical Skeptic, Wednesdays, the first Wednesday of each month, that information is there too. So ginavirginiacasella.com is the place to go. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a lovely time. I wish you well, and I'll definitely be in touch. Take care, everybody. Talk soon, Dragon Dreamers. See you next time.